Welcome back to Three and Out. I'm Jason. That's Kevin. It's been a while. It's been about a month. We're happy to be back. We've just been busy and stuff. Kevin and I are both very busy people. We're busy guys. We're busy boys.
Important people.
We got stuff to do. Been very important people. Yes. So the Bengals, they're heading into Week 16. Oh, let's get this out of the way first. We are on the Orange and Black Insider on YouTube. It's us and OBI, which is Anthony and John, and then we're also on Believe in Cincy, which is part of the Believe Network, and it's us, which is Three and Out. It's OBI, which is John and Anthony. It's Talking Football with Bengal Jim and Friends, and it's Matt and Willie No Ball. Check it out. Give us all follow on social media stuff. There's new Bengals content pretty much every day. Brought to you by Cincy Jungle, SB Nation's Cincinnati Bengals site. And now we can get to it. The whole point of today is just kind of talk about the playoffs, which is wild because the Bengals are 6-8 and they're still alive. And we're going to kind of spell out the scenarios that could get them there. So, I do want to say,
do that, Jason. I did want to ask you.
Yeah.
In your opinion, should they be trying to make it to the playoffs?
So
I'm putting you on the spot here. You're going to piss off about half of our audience, no matter what you answer.
I know. I think that, yes, I think they should. And the reason that I think they should is the offense is so good and Joe Burrow is playing so well that you never know what happens on defense. You know what I mean? I mean, we've only been blown out by one team, and that was the Eagles. Sure. Every game that they've played against, top talent, they've been in those games. That, this one ball bounces the right way, it could be us. And it makes me think about the 2007, the Patriots go undefeated and they're going to win everything. And the last team I thought would beat them would be the Giants, who got hot at the right time. You know what I mean? The Giants who came in and I'm not saying that we're going to be like the Giants. I'm just saying I think that we should. If they lose any game, it's over. And at that point, take your guys out. Don't get anybody hurt. See what you got. You know what I mean? And try to get the best draft pick available. But while they're alive, I do think that they should. What do you think?
I'm going to give the coward's answer, but it is how I actually feel. I've waffled back and forth on this so many times that I've given up on having an opinion. You know what's really fun? Winning football games. It's also really fun. High draft picks.
That's fun too.
Good. I've ridden the emotional roller coaster. Now I'm just here to watch fun football. I think the offense is going to be fun regardless. I think Jamar Chase chasing the Triple Crown is very fun.
Yep.
And I think there's 4 or 5 records that the individual Bengals are all chasing right now. That makes it even more fun to watch this offense.
It does.
But if we lose, we lose, because I won't believe there's a playoff future till there actually is one. Till then, I'm just sitting back, having fun watching football. The offense is fun enough that I wanted them to win regardless. That's what it is.
They are fun to watch on offense. Infuriating to watch on defense sometimes, but they are fun to watch on offense. So obviously the first big thing that has to happen for the Bengals to go to the playoffs, they have to win out. They can't lose any games. If they do, they're eliminated pretty much right away. So this weekend they have the Browns at home, and then I think everyone feels pretty confident about that game. And then it gets tough after that. Then they play the Broncos at home and then the Steelers at home, both of who are winning teams. They have not beaten a winning team yet. So first of all, before we get into other help that we need, what do you think the chances are that the Bengals can just take care of their business? That they got to do what they got to do. There's all the other teams, just leave them out for a minute, the help that we need. What do you think the chances are that the Bengals can beat the Browns and then beat 2 winning teams back to back when they have not beaten a winning team at all this year?
Almost 0.
Yeah.
I mean, if I'm being realistic, it is what it is. If they do, I'll be out of my seat cheering. Awesome. I'll be right there along for the ride. It'll be a hell of a good time, but almost 0. If I had to guess, we're going to beat the Browns and then lose out the last 2 games. The Steelers are playing for a lot more than we are at this point, because even the individual players in the Bengals know they're not probably playing for much right now, other than just the reps and the thrill of the sport and all that. So I would say we're going to be 7-10 by the time this is all over.
I can see that.
But maybe not. If we beat the Broncos, I think, let's put it this way. If we beat the Browns, then the Broncos, I think this team could get a head of steam, and I think it could be a very different team for at least a game or two.
I agree. I do agree. I think the Broncos is the kind of the linchpin game that
Yep.
where that game goes, the rest of the season goes. So I think they'll beat the Browns. The Browns aren't going to have Jameis Winston, and I get they benched him. He throws a lot of picks. The Browns are a bad team. They're one of the few teams that are worse than the Bengals. So I think the Bengals will win that game at home. And I do agree with you. I think chances are they probably come into home against the Broncos and they probably lose. I just don't think their defense is good enough to stop a capable offense, even a semi-capable offense. You know what I mean? And
Yep.
they allowed the Steelers, who I think we could agree are a semi-capable offense. That team wins because they have a great defense, but they allowed the Steelers to score 40 points for the first time since 2018. So I'm not going to hold out hope that the defense suddenly figures it out, or they figured it out by beating the Cowboys who suck and the Titans who suck. You know what I mean? So I doubt that they win out. I would say, you know, maybe a 15% chance. That's about it. 15% chance that they win out. And the reason I think that it's that high is because if I had to pick between Burrow and a rookie quarterback, I'll pick Burrow. Maybe the defense figures something out for, 1 or 2 drives. And then maybe at the end of the year, at the last game, Pittsburgh is like, hey, we got what we need. We're not going to get the first round bye. We're locked in. We're not going to get anybody hurt. Let's sit our starters. And maybe they win out that way because Pittsburgh doesn't have anything to play for in week 18. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And the other way we went out is there's at least an outside chance based off just the eye test here that the defense is gelling. Now, we've only
Yeah.
played against bad teams where in the last couple matchups.
Mm-hmm.
But to the eye test, McKinley Jackson is starting to hit his stride. He graded out really, really well with PFF last game. The same with Jenkins. I'm starting to see Jenkins really hitting his stride. Cam Taylor-Britt has settled down a little bit. He's starting to look a little bit better. We're not putting we're putting Battle out there almost exclusively. Which again should be a bonus, and he should be able to start like communicating better and learning this and being getting to the rhythm of this defense a little bit more.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Miles Murphy.
Say
what you want about him, but there's a very good chance he provides a lot more pass rush than Sam Hubbard was capable of supplying. And Osai has been looking like a pretty decent rotational piece.
Mm-hmm.
Finding all this stuff happening at the very end of the season.
Right.
I mean, it is what it is. That's why we're at where we're at least part of the reason we are. But if those trends keep continuing,
right,
there's your victories. There's the defense stepping up just enough that maybe they can stop a good team once or twice, which is all this offense actually needs.
Right. Yeah, and I think that you and I would both agree with the statement that they don't have to have a good defense. They just got to have a mediocre defense, just something capable of a handful of stops, maybe one turnover a game, and play bend but don't break. Give up a lot of field goals, something. You know what I mean? They don't need to be we're the best against the run and we sack the quarterback more than anybody else. They don't have to be that. Just be decent. That's it. Just decent. And I don't think that Lou Anarumo necessarily I don't think that he's like lost the ability to coach. I think he's lost a lot of players, lost a lot of talent. I still believe in him. I do think if things don't go well, I think he'll get the axe just because someone has to. But yeah, I'd say 15%. I think that I could if the Steelers game I think was week 17 instead of week 18, I'd feel worse about it. What do you think? If the Steelers had something to play for, I think the Steelers are better than the Broncos. If the Steelers are like going all out in week 17, I'd say that I'd feel worse about it. That's me though.
I tend to agree. Not even so much for that reason, but also for the reason I stated. We're going for the Broncos spot. That tiebreaker is crucial.
Yeah.
Simply having that under our belt going into the Steelers game is bound to light at least a little bit of a fire. We'll see if it even matters because this time tomorrow we'll be watching the Broncos-Chargers game, and if the Broncos win, that's it. Theoretically, we could steal the Chargers.
Well, not necessarily.
Spot, they'd have to lose to the Pats and the Raiders, which I know the Chargers aren't like cooking this year, but it's hard to lose to both the Pats and the Raiders.
All right,
maybe.
Let's go over the Dolphins. So the Dolphins and Colts. Let's the easy things out of the way, and then we can talk about the Broncos and the Chiefs. So the Dolphins lost last week. They just have to lose one more. They play Colts the 49ers. Yeah, the Colts as well. Yep. The Dolphins play The 49ers at home, they could lose that game. They travel to Cleveland. I doubt it. And then they're at the Jets, and I don't know about that either. So I think their best chance of losing is probably this weekend. And then the Colts have to lose one more. They play the Titans, the Giants, and Jaguars. That's not going to be super easy either. So those two teams have to drop one of their last 3 games. It kind of sucks that the Colts are playing 3 of the worst teams in the NFL in the last 3 weeks.
Yes.
But the Colts are not world beaters. You know what I mean? They're kind of hanging on by that by their fingernails there. So I could see it happening. So both those things. The Colts have to lose one, the Dolphins have to lose one, and then we come to what you just talked about. The big thing is either the Broncos or the Chargers have to lose out. And then, like Kevin said, they play each other. Well, when you're watching this or listening to this, they play each other tonight, Thursday Night Football. If the Broncos win, the Chargers have to lose, like Kevin said, the rest of their games, and they played the two of the worst teams in the AFC. If the Broncos lose, it doesn't matter what the Chargers do. The Broncos have to lose out. Now the Broncos play the Bengals in Cincinnati in week 17. And then so the Bengals, kind of control their destiny as far as week 17 goes. And then they play the Chiefs, I think, on the road, right?
I don't know if it's on the road or not, but they play the Chiefs.
They are. No, I'm sorry. They're at home. They're in Denver, but the Chiefs are 13-1. They're a good team. So I think it's all going to come down to the scenario that I see. I could see the Bengals winning out. I could see the Dolphins losing one. I could see the Colts losing one. I think the thing that worries me is week 18, the Bengals have done everything they can, and then the Chiefs look at the situation they're in and they say, okay, if we lose, then we face these guys, the Broncos, again with a rookie quarterback. And I'm not saying that they're bad, but it's a rookie quarterback. If we win, we got to deal with the Bengals, and who got hot the last 3 weeks in the game, beat the Broncos, beat the Steelers, and we've had trouble with them in the playoffs in the past.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So what if you're Andy Reid or you're Patrick Mahomes, would you rather face Denver or do you want to deal with Joe Burrow? It's Denver for me all day.
Yeah, I would much rather face Denver. I don't think anybody wants to face Burrow in the playoffs.
No.
Especially if this defense hits even
just
even gets to like C- level defensive play. Which is still a stretch, but hell, we're this is all we're describing a 5% scenario right now, so it's all a stretch. Right. Which also means that we need ideally, I got like a rooting guide I've been writing here, but ideally we need the Chiefs to lose one game of the next 2 games, because if they do, then they're only 1 win above the Bills, and the Bills hold the tiebreaker.
Yep.
So if that's the case, they will have to try against the Broncos. They will have to play their starters. They will have to try to beat them, because otherwise they risk their seeding with the Bills winning out. Which I kind of have a summary here of all this, but it does bring up this question for you, Jason. And I feel like we occasionally get into these scenarios.
Sure. Hit me.
Week 17.
Okay.
Go Steelers.
So I'm actually looking to see who the Chiefs play.
I'm just saying, are you a Steelers fan? Week 17, are you a Steelers fan?
I think if you're not going to be, I think you have to be. I think you have to be a Texans fan. I know. I think you have to be a Texans fan this weekend, because the Texans face the Chiefs in Arrowhead, or at Arrowhead this weekend. If the Texans can't do it, then the reality is the Steelers have to do it. If the Steelers can't do it, then there's no reason for the Chiefs to worry about whether they don't have to win on week 18. They can just sit and have the number 1 seed, and they don't have to worry about it.
Yep.
So I think that we're Texans fans this weekend. If the Texans can't do it, maybe Joe Mixon can do us a favor. He seems to hate us now, but
yeah, I know.
But I know it's weird. I don't like it.
I can't blame him. I'm pretty positive. I know. Ownership basically had a handshake agreement saying no matter what, you're good, and then they cut him. But that's a whole different episode.
Yeah, it's a whole different thing. So I think if the Texans can't do it, you got to root for the Steelers. I think it's at Pittsburgh. So I think of the 2 teams, I think Pittsburgh has a better shot of beating Kansas City than Houston does.
I agree.
You know,
And I think they both have a chance.
yeah, I think they have a chance. Pittsburgh's defense, I think, is going to be tough. So yeah, if Pittsburgh can beat Kansas City, I think that's the scenario here. Is the way the Bengals get in is the Chiefs lose against the Steelers or the Texans, either way. So they have to play all out. They have to have a reason to play in Week 18. The Bengals win out. The Chargers beat the Broncos this weekend. The Bengals beat the Broncos next weekend. And the Chiefs beat the Broncos in Week 18. Excuse me, because they have to. You know what I mean?
Yes.
To keep that number 1 seed. That's the only way they get in. And for that all to happen, and crazier things have happened. If you said, oh, wouldn't that be nuts? It'd be like, it'd be crazy, but wilder stuff has happened. You know what I mean? But I think it has about a 5% chance. That's about it.
Yep.
So probably not going to happen.
No, probably not going to happen. Yeah, go ahead.
If they get in, though, and everything lines up the right way, and they get in, is it going to be hard for you to separate yourself from that feeling of like, oh my God, it's meant to be? Like it's happening. Like they're going to win it all. It's meant to be. They got in. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Like
it will not be hard to separate myself because I won't try to separate myself. Football is basically the only time as a grown man that I allow myself to be emotionally vulnerable. I'm here to be hurt. You know what I mean? I'm realistic. I know what the odds are. I know how this is probably going to go. I'm not an idiot. But I want to be hurt. I want my heart broken. I'm ready to fall in love again. I just need them to make the effort, meet me halfway, give me some kind of hope so you can dash it across the rocks. And then I'll spend the off season looking at mock drafts to convince myself that we can fix it all in a single perfect draft.
Yep. And then they'll have a draft. We'll be excited about the draft because we won't know any better. And we will convince ourselves by, I don't know, July. This is it. This is the year. Because if you remember, the first episode we did this season was bold predictions. They're going to go win the Super Bowl. This is it. This is the year.
Yeah.
I think the year before that, we may have been saying the same thing. The only 2 years we weren't saying it was when they went to the goddamn Super Bowl. That was the only time we were saying, this is the year. So, yeah. Now, the question is, real question. If you got to choose, they win out and have 15% chance of doing something major in the playoffs, or they lose out and they retain a top 10 pick. You're going to take the lose out option, right? Or would you rather them go to the playoffs and be in the dance and have the whole thing? Like, look what we did. We almost came back. You know what I'm saying? Like, what would you rather do?
Okay. This is hard, right? Let me.
Yeah.
Because it's not this team as we know it can't do the second option. So if they pull off the second option, if they win out from here on out, that means the defense has stepped up.
Right.
And if the defense has stepped up, then there is at least a chance.
Sure.
We'd make a team of destiny run through the playoffs. So I'm going to go for win it out. I know logically, I should be team tank.
Right.
I think everybody should be. There's really no reason. I'm not going to judge you. There's really no reason not to. I've been team tank for almost every year I've been a Bengals fan. I don't want to do it anymore. I just don't want to do it anymore. We have a fun team. We have some of the best talent, future Hall of Famers at multiple positions. Go out there and kick ass. It's much more fun than rooting for next year this year.
Yep. I've never heard a Bengals fan say, I've been rooting for the bungle for Burrow scenario for so long that I can't do it anymore. Like they have the guys, they have a handful of the guys they need now. It's time to make a run every year. Just like Burrow said, that the window's not closed. I like that because I was going to say lose out, but I do. I honestly feel like that if they figure out their defense just enough to squeak in, they're going to be dangerous, scary, dangerous team. You know what I mean? They've been road warriors. Well, I mean, not against good teams. They've only won. But that's what they'd have to do.
But if we're in the playoffs, that means we beat 2 good teams.
Yep. That's true. That's true. They'd have to figure out, they have to keep winning on the road, keep beating bad or good teams on the road. I don't know, man. I'm trying not to get excited because I don't want to be excited.
Oh, I'm not
You know what I
excited.
mean?
I'm not
Right.
excited, but I am rooting for them.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm rooting for them. I think most likely scenario is they go, like you said, I think that they go 7-10, or I think they go 8-9. They split with the Steelers because the Steelers don't have anything to fight for. And hopefully they figure some stuff out next year, but I don't know. But yeah, that's the path to the playoffs. So to recap, Bengals got to win out. Colts, Dolphins each have to lose at least one more, and either the Chargers or the Broncos have to lose out, and then the easiest one of those to see happening would be the Broncos. But it all starts Thursday night, because the Chargers and Broncos play. So every Bengals fan should be on wearing a Chargers hat, whatever.
Yeah, we are Chargers fans. We are Texans fans. We want those two teams. Yeah, to win.
Next week, you got to be a Steelers fan, guys. I'm sorry. You got to do it. You got to do it. You got to root for the Steelers. I know it will be hard. Very difficult. And you got to be Bengals fans, obviously. So, anything else, man?
No.
I do want to bring up one more thing.
Okay.
And I don't really know what to say. I just want to get your thought on Sheldon Rankins. I feel like if they've said he's been sick.
What's going on with him? I don't know.
Yeah, I know. I feel like they're saying he's been sick for a month. I feel like at this point, if he's been sick for a month, like, is he okay? Like, is he going to be okay? Is there something going on that like we should be concerned about him? You know what I mean? I just feel like they're not saying anything. It's weird.
I'm very suspicious of him being sick, only because it's been so incredibly weirdly, like close to the vest,
right?
Like Burrow was sick for ever. They're like, oh yeah,
and they
appendix out.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Or people have gotten COVID,
something.
and they just said, oh, they got COVID.
They just didn't say.
We even hear about Lamar Jackson having stomach issues every third game. It feels like. But with Sheldon Rankins, it's nothing. I almost think he's playing like crap. They're gonna cut him, and they have a handshake deal behind the scenes to not screw him over, or at least protect him as much as they can. And they were like, "We're gonna sit you. You're bad, but we'll tell everybody you're sick if that's what you want."
Yeah, I could see that being the case. Maybe if he is sick, like I hope he's fine. I mean, a month is a long time to be sick, and
if he's
and
sick
have
for a month, he's very, very sick.
Yeah, there's something really wrong. If not, I mean, the guy, they brought him in. The defense sucks. It isn't the kind of year that everybody wanted. I think that he's had some locker room issues in the past. I don't know. It wouldn't surprise me if you found out that, there was some crap going on behind the scenes. Winning cures everything, and the Bengals aren't winning. So, that was just, I just wanted to see if your head was where my head was, but it is. So, got anything else, man?
No, this time I don't.
Yep. Neither. Again, we're on the Orange and Black Insider on YouTube. Check us out. It's us and OBI. And then on Believe, the Believe Network, the channel is Believe in Cincy. It's us, it's OBI, it's Matt and Willie No Ball, and it's Talking Football with Bengal Jim and Friends. New Bengal stuff pretty much every day. So thanks for watching. We're going to be doing bi-weekly things. We'll be back in a couple weeks, and hopefully we have some good playoff news and, can talk about next steps. If not, probably mock draft time. So, all right. Thank you very much for watching. Have a good night. Who day?
Who day?